there is no progress, you know what I mean?
So, here we are, or at least here I am, finally here at Puebla at Clinica Ruiz. And yeah, it feels surreal, to be honest. It is pretty odd considering how long I've been thinking about this and talking about this and planning for this, and here it is, finally here. Yeah, surreal. And that's even after being here for a few hours, spending most of the afternoon and now going into the evening. It's still kind of surreal that I'm here, that I'm doing this. I don't have any apprehension about doing this. I don't have any sort of sense of nerves. That might differ as we move on into the later stages of the procedure, as we move deeper into the treatment. That might differ. But right now, zero apprehension, no nervousness about it. It's just odd to finally be here, but it's good to finally be here. As I said, have been here for a few hours now, been able to sort of climatize to my surroundings, got used to those, unpacked, just unwounded, relaxed, in other words. I got to meet and have a wonderful dinner with my caregiver, Pablo, who's going to be looking after me for the next few weeks. Dinner, absolutely banging. Some sort of leek potato soup thing, salmon, just absolutely primo salmon, rice, and some asparagus thing. And then for dessert, we had a mango cheesecake. I don't know why I'm going into detail. This is not, a restaurant critique of Clinica Ruiz. But all of that to say that the dinner was absolutely smashing. And that was just the first one. So, I feel like I'm in good hands on that regard at the very least. But got to have dinner, with Pablo, got to chat with him for a little bit. He, as I said, is going to be looking after me for a bit while I'm here, making sure I've got everything I need and all of that stuff, and just basically kind of giving me my itineraries, what I'm doing, where I'm going, how long I'm going for, all of that good stuff, as well as making sure I'm okay. Got to chat with him, really sound fella. He's a Real Madrid fan, but we won't hold that against him because it could be worse. He could be a Man City fan, or even worse, a United fan. But he's not. He's genuinely nice lad. So I feel like I'm in good care with him. I feel like I'm in very good care here, and yeah, I'm looking forward to getting on with it and doing the damn thing. The flight over here was really simple, straightforward, about an hour and 45 minutes. Getting through Puebla Airport, simple, streamlined. Thankfully, there is a company that works with the clinic that comes and picks you up, has your name on a sign, the whole shebang, wakes you in a minibus, drives you up to the clinic. It's about 30 minutes away. So I got to see a little bit of Puebla on the way down. Looks very cool, completely different to anything I've seen before, but in a very good way. And then straight into the clinic and just kind of getting settled. Yeah, so getting here was really straightforward and simple, and I'm really pleased about that for obvious reasons because you don't want any complications. But the last couple of days, I want to say the last 3 days, have been so frantic, kind of stressful, so much of a blur, and I have been on a little bit of a fluid mental and emotional scale the last few days. I haven't been apprehensive and I haven't been nervous. I've now been a little bit overwhelmed by the support that I've had in the best possible way. I've been overwhelmed by that, and I've just been a touch melancholic for the things I'm leaving behind, even though it's just temporary. It still kind of hit me with a bit of sadness, standing in the house by myself, and it's empty and quiet just before we got in the car to go down to the airport. That was a moment on the plane listening to the new Bess Atwell album. I had a couple of moments with that, partly because of the music, partly because of the situation. It was the perfect storm. Yeah, I've had a few moments of just melancholy and just I don't know, just being emotional, but not nervous, not scared, not frightened. Not that there's anything wrong with that, because there are plenty of people that probably are feeling that. And goodness knows, as we get deeper into the procedure, into the treatments, I'm more than likely I'm going to have my fair share of frightened moments and being scared. But at the moment, I'm pretty calm and just pretty, minus the surrealism of finally being here. I am excited to be here. Hey, hello and howdy. How are you? I am doing pretty good considering what's been going on this week. I've been here 6 days: Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 6 days total, 5 days of stuff going on. And there's been quite a bit of stuff going on. And considering the stuff that's been going on, I'm feeling pretty good. So the first official 2 days, day minus 13 and day minus 12, leading up to day 0, which is when I will eventually get my healthy cells put back into my body, and I will be brand new, baby-esque, box fresh, healthy as the day is long, hopefully. That's what day 0 is. But before we get there, we've obviously got quite a few minus days. And day minus 13 and the first half of day minus 12 was a lot of preliminary testing. So, first and foremost, COVID, obviously, because me and everyone else here has come from many places. Belgium, many people from the Netherlands, a lot of people from the Netherlands, people from Canada, wherever, you name it, people have been from their home countries and have come here. There's a really cool map downstairs where when you finish your treatment, you get to put a pin in the big map saying, this is where I came from. And it's literally all corners of the globe. Very cool. But because we're coming from all corners of the globe and we've been through numerous airports and some people have been out doing some touristy sightseeing stuff, we obviously required, understandably so, for doing a COVID test. That came through negative, obviously, because I wouldn't have been, this far into the process if it hadn't. And then the rest of day minus 13 was preliminary tests, as I say. So blood tests, urine tests, spirometry test, which is, I believe, measuring your lung capacity. You blow into this weird little plastic gun thing that they put in your mouth, inhale really deep, exhale as hard and as long as you can, and they measure even your lung capacity. Bunch of other stuff, consultation with the neurologist, sort of cognizant exercises, medical history, going over your MRI scans with the neurologist, bunch of stuff. So basically, first day and a half is testing. They gather the results, and then in my case, it's a green light. As far as I know, everybody's got a green light. But then just, making sure, crossing T's, dotting I's. And using those results to figure out, I guess, your chemo strength, how much of it you are having, if you're having the full dose, which I was and am, and stuff like that. It's pretty much what the preliminary tests are for. So, busy first day and a half, and they don't waste time here. Once the results are in, you get that green light. I am in group 1, so I was first into the chemo room. There are 4 groups of 4 people, I believe. That is how it's divided. And as I say, I'm in group 1, so I was in to the chemo room for 2 days, back to back, 5-hour slots of chemo. Anti-nausea drugs, thankfully. Definitely a need for that, trust me. Anti-headache drugs, and then the chemo, and you are hooked up to the machine, sat in the chair for 5 hours, and and everything that I say about this, everything that I talk about, my time here is my experience. Everyone's is different, and there is no one set case of MS. There is no one set experience of this. Most people in my group seem to experience nausea after the first day. I certainly did. I was sick as a dog the morning after. In fact, I threw up 3 times. the third time being the charm, right before I go into the chair for day 2. But outside of the nausea, which is now being regulated with anti-nausea meds, which I'm on, a set of routine meds and 2 shots per day to mobilize the white blood cells for the next 6 days. That's the phase I'm in now. But with those anti-nausea meds, it quells the nausea. I still get a little bit as they're wearing off at around 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. each day, but overall it's pretty manageable. Outside of the nausea, from my experience, once again, just my own experience, and hopefully it mirrors other people's, because I would hate for them to have a bad experience with this or for it to be worse than it could be. My experience in the chemo chair, both times for the 5-hour blocks, was pretty straightforward. No pain, no itchiness, no weird bitter taste in my mouth. Just, at worst, a sense of wooziness on day 1, about 2 hours in. And when I say wooziness, I mean just relaxed in a good way, but just a little bit like, whoa, there's wooziness. Yeah, other than that, that was about the worst of it during the time. And then, obviously, as previously mentioned, the nausea. And truly, outside of the nausea and some restless nights, some trouble sleeping, getting a little bit too hot, then a little bit too cold at night, and obviously during the chemo rounds, you've got to drink 2 liters of electrolytes to replenish what you lose, and then also to stay hydrated, you've got to drink 1 liter of water. So that's a lot of fluids. And now that I'm in this holding pattern of sorts for 6-7 days of routine meds and the 2 shots per day, you're also requested to drink 3 liters of water a day. So there's a lot of water going into my body, which means during the night, there's a lot of water coming out in my body, which means basically getting up every 45 minutes, every hour, something like that. That's what it feels like. And so sleep has kind of evaded me. Like solid, deep sleep has kind of evaded me. But outside of that, and feeling tired in general and a bit lethargic and a touch of the nausea, I am actually doing pretty good. Pretty good, considering all of that. But, yeah, as I say, 2 rounds of chemo done. I'm in this pattern now of the routine meds, the shots in my arm to mobilize the white blood cells. And then the next stage will be having the catheter fit, and then having the harvest, the great harvest of 2024. That's the next major milestone. But yeah, that's a few days away, and I'm kind of pleased to just have a few more days of rest and recovery. Although they will go fast, because these first 6 days certainly have gone fast. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. For all the support that has been coming in during my time here and before, I can't even begin to tell you how much it means. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And I love yous for it. So just know that I'm deeply grateful that my support system is strong, it is wide, it is deep, it is varied, and it is something that is definitely helping with the positive mental attitude towards this. So yeah, big up yourselves. You're doing an amazing thing for me. Yeah, so far so good. 1 round of chemo done, feeling good, and yeah, just looking forward to moving on. Alright, here we go. I'm outside, outdoors, on the rooftop garden. The city is doing its thing at 6:30 at night. There's a good chance you'll hear Fresh Bread Man doing the rounds, taking his bread from place to place, yelling fresh bread, enticing people to buy fresh bread, of all things. So if you hear "Roar, roar," it's Fresh Bread Man. Just ignore him, let him go about his business. It is day -4, which means I've got 4 days until the cells, the healthy cells taken from my body, go back into my body. 4 days until my second birthday, as it were. 4 days until the Control-Alt-Delete is complete. But before we get to that, before we get to day 0, obviously 4 pretty big days and a few things happening beforehand. I am just about at the very end of my cycle of shots in the arm, left and right, morning and evening, to stimulate and populate white blood cells, ready for the great harvest of 2024. That's what's been going on for the last few days, along with routine meds, thankfully some anti-nausea in there, and lots of rest and recovery. Some good food, some activities up on the rooftop garden, plenty of downtime, just perfect, with the exception of like a kick in the teeth from some hay fever yesterday when we were out in Puebla city centre, town centre, wherever we were. I don't know what its official name is, up by the cathedral. It was lovely to get out and see some stuff. It wasn't quite so lovely to have this left eye like weeping like crazy and just really angry and inflamed, and I just wanted to close at all costs. So yeah, that was the downside to that. But yeah, I'm at the end of this cycle, about to go into the next stage, the next step. It's gone really quick, and with the exception of hay fever kicking me in the teeth, I've been great. No side effects, no back pain, no extra tiredness, been getting some good sleep, and just feeling good in general about the whole thing. Really good. Like, as a top to bottom approach in terms of the medical stuff, the catering, the transport, the cleaners, the activities, the group of people here, everything across the board. It's just such a wonderful holistic approach to this in so many ways. Yeah, my time here has been amazing, and I have felt really good, not just in terms of I haven't had back pain, side effects, etc., but I've just felt really good having the time to just rest and be still and just sit with that stillness for a change. It's nice. I think I've been afraid of it for so long. I've never done it on my own volition, but now I'm in a position where I don't really have a choice. It's really quite nice. So the next stage, anyway, because I want to kind of keep this reasonably short, the next stage is the catheter fitting, which is happening tomorrow. So tonight I've got to fast, can't have anything over the course of 8 hours before we go. We're going first thing in the morning, and I think it's going to be pretty much placed round about the collarbone, and you get to choose right or left depending on what's more comfortable for you, because I'm naturally right-handed and I tend to sleep more on my right hand side. I'm going to opt for over here on my left. Not entirely sure of the procedure. I believe they knock you out, you know, medically speaking. They don't just like give you a swift uppercut and then put you on the bed. They knock you out and then they make the incision, and then the PICC line, as it's known, or the catheter or the port, will go in there, and then that's ready for the great harvest of 2024, and that's to help get the blood flow quicker. And that will be the next stage, is the actual harvesting is happening in 2 days, I believe. And the next round of chemo is also happening on the same day. So quite a heavy, lengthy day on Friday. Yeah, that's happening Friday. And then the second round of chemo is happening on a Saturday. And then Sunday is my birthday. And I'm gonna just rest and recover like it's my birthday. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Feeling good. Still got a really good mental approach to this, taking it day by day, trying not to overload myself with information, just seeing what I'm doing the day before, and then just going with it, trusting in the process, trusting in the people here, and trusting that the feel-good feeling that I have now is going to continue forward and help me through the next stage, help me through the big stuff. I love coming up here. It's truly zen and super chill, and that in itself helps with the calmness of the mentality. So yeah, unfortunately, come my birthday, second birthday, I will be heading into the neutropenia stage, which means pretty much lockdown. So I'm going to be seeing a lot of my apartment for pretty much the rest of my duration. So I'm making the most of what I can get in terms of time up here before that happens. Anyway, that's about it. My arm is actually killing me now. It is aching. So I'm going to go now, because I don't have a tripod and there's Breadman. Told you. Anyway, hope you're all doing well, and I'll keep you updated. Alright, back once again with the Renegade Master, or just the Tiny Mike. Tiny Mike is back. Up on the rooftop garden. Breadman is nowhere to be seen. It's not his hours. It's not his hours at all. In fact, it's the opposite. It is early doors here on the rooftop garden. Unfortunately, I have just missed sunrise, which was something I was hoping to capture, but it's lovely to at least capture the city as it's waking up. So Breadman won't be here with his patent call of Breadman, but you will hear some cocks a crowing, probably, lots of vehicles, and just a city coming to life, which is great, and quite an apt metaphor, because right now I feel like a person coming to life in a lot of ways. I am on day -2. No, hold the phone. It is day -1. It's Saturday. Yesterday was day -2. And, yeah. What a day. Busy day. Busiest day of my journey so far. Had to have a blood sample at 6 in the morning. That got taken away for analysis. Then there is a little bit of a waiting game. And you are expected that, you know, your blood's going to be fine. With general optimism, it's going to be fine. And that at 8 o'clock, you'll be in the minibus and you'll be off to the clinic to start the Great Harvest of 2024. But you don't know for sure until about 10 minutes beforehand. So for a lot of people, I can see how that would be very, very anxious. But for me, I was fine. It was like the way that I've approached this whole thing. And people have told me that I've had a very positive mental attitude and a positive mindset. And I'm telling myself that because I believe it to be true. But I believe that has stemmed from more stoic pragmatism of I can only control what I can control. I can only do what I can do. And if things don't happen the way I want them to, that's just the way it is. And then we just adapt. So this whole process, I haven't been like, yeah, let's get it. And I haven't been like, oh my God, what about this? It's kind of been more even-keeled down the line, day by day. What we're doing today? Okay. What's happening tomorrow? Okay. Hopefully that works. And so far, so good. So 10 minutes to 8, and we all get the text, except for one person in our group who isn't joining us. So group of 4, only 3 of us made it on the minibus. And I immediately felt for, I'm not going to mention names, I immediately felt for the missing person from our party, because as much as I've say I've been keeping an even keel, I imagine for me that would have been a bit of a wobble. That would have been a real dent in my stoic, pragmatic armor. Bit of a disappointment, to say the least. I did get to see that person in the afternoon, and we had a little chat, and they did tell me they were disappointed, and, you know, I tried to cheer them up and talk to them and kind of see if they were where they were in their headspace, and they were in a good place, and I kind of tried to reinforce that tomorrow, which is today, would be a better day for them and such, and then let them get on with their lunch. But yeah, must suck, and I feel for them. But the 3 of us that were eligible based on our blood tests hopped in the minibus, and we went over to the clinic, and you are put into a seat. Big comfy brown recliner similar to the chemo chairs. Different process though. You are then hooked up via your PICC line, your portal, which has 2 ports. One for water going in, I believe, and one for the blood coming out. Then they do all the beep boops on the machine, all the medically inclined stuff I haven't a clue about, and then, yeah, we're flying for 3 hours. And it wasn't the most comfortable 3 hours because it was pretty bloody cold in there, and I forgot to bring a blanket. Except No, I forgot to bring my blanket, which is noticeably thicker than the issued one that they give you. I did have the issued one they gave me, but yeah, I wish I'd brought my own thicker blanket. Well, you live and learn, I guess. Anyway, 3 hours in the chair, blood's coming out, filling the bag, and then I'm done. No weird side effects, no bitter taste in my mouth. And again, my experience is different to everybody else's different experience. I don't know if that's a common side effect. I don't really look into the side effects of what a preface, I think it's what it's called, what harvesting does. As in, like, chemo has been reported to leave a strange taste in people's mouth, and know some of the side effects of that. I don't know the side effects for a preface. Yeah, harvesting. I'm just going to stick with that. So if you are going to be going through stem cell harvesting, yeah, you might want to look up the side effects beforehand, which I didn't, obviously. But nothing out of the norm, no weird feelings, no pains, no aches, no nausea, other than being a little bit chilly. It was really straightforward. And then, you get disconnected. They take your blood bag, that gets put into their freezer for Sunday, when it will be repopulated back into my body. We came back to the main clinic where we're staying at, with the rooftop garden and the restaurant and such. Had like about 2 hours to get some lunch, because you were advised to eat a very small lunch, nothing with dairy, because of the fact that you're wearing your adult diaper. And hold it for 3 hours, but you don't want to push it with a heavy breakfast. That would be another tip. Not that I know from lived experience, but it's just a logical one. So back here for 2 hours, bit of a rest, something to eat, and then we find out again about 10 minutes beforehand. We're all told to reconvene downstairs at 2, with the general belief that we've populated enough blood cells in our harvest. But obviously 2 hours rebound time to do the scientific medically stuff needed to count how many blood cells each person has takes a little bit of time, so hence the sort of 10-minute warning. But we are told, it's not likely to happen. It has happened, and it may possibly happen, but there is a chance that you might not have populated enough blood cells. So just kind of have that in the back of your head. But we are planning to meet here at 10, and at 10 minutes to, we'll give you a heads up if that's not the case for you, if you've not managed to harvest enough. Thankfully, all 3 of us that went to market that morning got to go on to the next round of chemo, which followed at 2 p.m, or just after by the time we got to the clinic. And same as the last time, chemo, really straightforward, no nausea, no side effects, no aches or pains, nothing. Just not even the weird woozy feeling. Just time. And it was great. I had time to doodle. I had time to fiddle about with some music, chopping up samples, piecing loops together, just fiddling and farting on with that good stuff, which I haven't done for a while. And it was enjoyable because I didn't have an agenda. It was just like, hey, let's just see what happens. Had time to keep reading Slaughterhouse 5, which I'm nearly finished. Bit of light reading for chemotherapy. Never goes down wrong. And just time to just sit and still and listen to some music. 5 hours. You wouldn't think it when you're about to sit down in the chemo chair. And a lot of people might not. And again, this is just my perspective, because I know people are really anxious about this stage. Even after they've done it once already, sitting down for another 5-hour round is daunting for a lot of folk, and I respect that. But for me, fortunately, it wasn't. It was... enjoyable is not the word. Because it's... I would never say chemotherapy is an enjoyable experience, but the time, the 5-hour block of, like, I have this stuff I can do, I have some stuff I want to do, there is some space and time for me to do nothing, which I've also been enjoying greatly. It was pleasant. It was pleasant. Plus, the fact that they didn't have to give me an IV and that they administered it through my portal here made things a lot easier. And I got anti-nausea meds on the way out again as well double dipping on that because that helps. And it has helped so far. I'm up and about. I'm feeling kind of sprightly, as you might be able to tell. And no sickness, no nausea. And best of all, no vomiting first thing in the morning, which was not a pleasant experience the first time I had my first round of chemo. Fingers crossed that continues. That is a continuing trend. So yeah, I have 3 out of 4 chemo sessions done. Today is day -1, and the only thing on the agenda is my final round of chemo. And to kind of wrap up, because I've gone on quite a bit here, and I understand, but there's a lot to convey, and I don't want to break it down into bits and pieces. And honestly, I just did not have the time to do it last night. I wanted to make the most of this advantageous situation. Empty rooftop garden, early in the morning. Yeah, last round of chemo today, and then Sunday is my second birthday. And something has changed, because I truly believe in myself, not to be boastful or gloatful in any sense. Internally, I feel like I've had a really good mental positive attitude, a really good mental outlook throughout this. Coming into it, and then from the day I started to yesterday. And as I said earlier, I feel like it's been built on stoic pragmatism. Like, this is something I need to do. This is something, like, literally I need to do to get a better quality of life. And to get a better quality of life, I have to do these hardships. I have to go through this process. I have to go through this period of not pleasant experiences, minus the pleasantness of 5 hours in a chair with things to do. And I have not had, and it's refreshingly surreal, I have not had a drop of anxiety about this at all. And I think it is that pragmatic stoicism of just like, it's happening. I've decided to do it. I've dedicated myself to do it. Now's the time to do it. And we just do it one step at a time, one foot in front of the other, and I'll reach the end of the hallway eventually. But now I am this close to the end of the hallway, this close to the finish line. Now I am just like energized. I am actually buzzing. I got home last night and it took a while to settle down. I don't know if it was the chemo. I don't know if it's the mood switch. But now I'm this close. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. I'm just now I'm amped. Now that energy is there. Now this is probably going to dip in the next 2 weeks as I enter neutropenia, where I'm basically in lockdown. Basically, I'm just confined to the apartment. So I can still come up here to the rooftop garden for like 15-20 minutes a day for some fresh air and exercise, old school style. But outside of that, all meals are in the apartment and we just basically stay and hunker down. That might see a dip, but I'm hoping this mood switch, this burst of energy, this let's just go and get it feeling is going to carry me through that. And it might not, but it's giving me reason to. You know, it's giving me reason to see how I've flown through these first 2 weeks, and I want to harness that energy as much as I can and just get through these 2 weeks of solitude, of lockdown. I'm not solitude exactly because I'm there with my caregiver, but you know what I mean. And knowing that if I can get through this, then sheesh, I can get through 2 weeks of lock-in, right? No problem. It has also made me feel optimistic about the bit that I wasn't looking forward to out of everything, and that's like the 6 months recovery time when I get back. That was the big sword of Damocles hanging from not too far above. 6 months of like not lockdown, but just house cat life essentially, and restrictions. But you know, I've done it before. I can do it again. But this time it's different because when I am in house cat life mode, I've got an amazing support system in Texas, in my very own home, back in the UK. various places. Like, my support system has got many arms. It is an octopi. Not just a single one, an octopi, several, plural, of arms reaching out to strengthen me and hold me up. And it's been humbling and overwhelming and amazing. And it's really kind of awoken something that I have kind of buried for a long time, and that's the importance of people and community. Community is a word you hear bandied about a lot, but there is real power and strength to it when you find good people. Cling on to good people, because as the Lord and Savior Joe Strummer once said, without people, you're nothing. And there is real truth to that, you know. I am and always will be a stubborn, independent person, and I always will have a certain amount of trust issues with people. But this has left many cracks in my hardened shell that I have formed through isolation and low self-esteem that has amounted over years and various past experiences. And that's not going to change overnight. It hasn't like smashed the whole hard facade to bits, but it's definitely left cracks and dents, and there's a lot more light coming in now. And that's because of you watching this and the words that you've left me with, the thoughts and the concerns, the sporadic texts and messages, checking in, seeing how I'm doing, voice notes. It's amazing. And I don't have, for someone who can be quite eloquent, I sorely lack the words to do it justice. So I'll just end with the simplest ones. From this stage and onwards, thank you. Thank you so much. You have been the rocket fuel to power this stoic, pragmatic, hard-hearted, hard-headed, stubborn British thing. And yeah, you're amazing. A lot of you. And I bloody love yous. Anyway, it's getting a bit chilly and my caregiver might be wondering where I'm at, so I should probably skedoodle. Yeah, day 0 tomorrow. Wish me a happy second birthday. Grab yourself a party hat, treat yourself to a slice of cake, because it's a celebration, bitches.